Okay, I think we can. So I think we can start now.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Faidat Badamosi. Can you hear me? Please, you can say yes in the
Yes, we can
chat.
hear you.
Yes.
Awesome. So my name is Faidat Badamosi. Welcome to the iScholar Initiative Scholarship Application Session. And I must tell you, you're taking a very big step participating in this session today because it would position you to win this opportunity. And I'm sure we all want to go to grad school before the end of the year, you know. So during this session, we're going to be covering a whole lot, our application workflow, requirements, the value of scholarship, and you would also have a Q&A where you can ask any question that you have in mind or any question that you need clarifications on. So I'll hand over to the Vice President of ISI, the Vice President for External Relations, Mrs. Joy, to take on from here.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are based. You're all welcome to today's section. Like Fahidat said, I'm sure it's going to be an, interesting section, especially if you're looking to apply, for a scholarship this year. So it's very important that you listen and stay to the end of this section. And if you have any questions, just keep them ready, keep them, bring them on. And there's going to be a question and answer at the end of the section. So I'm going to kick off by speaking more about the scholarship. Oh, Fahida, you're going to share this, share the screen. Share your screen.
Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Not to worry, you can keep talking. It will come up.
Okay, well, I have a copy. So about this about our ISI scholarship, in 2019, we sponsored 20 candidates for GRE and mentorship. And we also sponsored 7 candidates for TOEFL. And 15 out of 20 have received fully funded admission offers and they began their studies. And others are still in process. And in 2020, we had 50 candidates sponsored for GRE and GMAT and TOEFL and mentorship. So here we are in 2021, and we're hoping to sponsor more candidates this year. And these are our application requirements for this year. Last year, the application process were mainly done, manually, where the candidate had to send their application through email. But this year, everything is online. So you're going to do it online. We have our portal ready. So you're going to apply via online. And here we have the application requirements. And this is what we are going to discuss today so that you know more about the requirements and what the expectations are. So we have the personal statement, examination study plan, CV, reference, and the reference is both academic reference and character reference. And first degree transcripts will need your first degree certificate or statement of results if you don't have your first degree certificate yet. Also, we will need your NYC certificate or call-up letter. Also, it's important that you know the application timeline. Next week, our application is going to go live next week, Monday. That is 4th of January, 2001. And the application deadline is 5th of February, 2001. Then we have the reference deadline, because yeah, when you ask for a reference, so we give a couple of days, for you to be able to get the reference from your lecturer or your manager, manager in case of the reference too, or your organization. Also, the application review will start in February, between February and April. That's when we start the application review. And the results will be out in May, 3rd of May. So it's important that you take note of this application timeline. And the best practice so far, the best practice is to start early, gather your application materials, inform your referees early, and read instructions carefully. Go through the application FAQs. We've put together some FAQs, it's on our website. So it's important that you go through them and read the instructions carefully. So go to our website, or you can reach out to us via email. For any inquiries, you can reach out to us via email on info@iScholarInitiative.org. So I'm going to kick off today by going through the workflow.
You can see my screen, Ma?
Yes, I can see your screen. Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you. So, like I said before.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Please, if you have questions, you can just send them directly to me as we proceed during the session. I'm sure you have questions. So please send them privately to me using the chat. The name is iScholar Initiative. That's the name appearing. So you just click that and you select chat. So you just send me your question privately. And okay, yes. So we can proceed. You can also share the link with your friends. It's already live on YouTube. I'll post the YouTube streaming link now. And if you're watching us from YouTube, please, you can use the live chat on YouTube to send your questions. It will get to us here. So Ma, you can proceed.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this is the application workflow. Because you're going to do this online, so we have put together this workflow just to illustrate the process for you. And yes, each of this process and the requirement, like we said, we have our panelists here that are going to discuss all the requirements, and so that you understand what the expectations are. So in the workflow, when you go to our website, if you want to apply, you go to our website. You go to our website, iScholar Initiative. You can just type in iScholarInitiative.org. When you type that, it will take you to our website, and this is the first window that will come up. This is the first window that will come up, and under there, we have apply for iSI scholarship. You click on it, apply for iSI scholarship, and it will bring up the next window. Slide 3, please. So it's to bring up the next window, and in this window, we have 5 sections: personal data, educational qualification, profile, reference, and attachments. And you will need to fill all these sections before you'll be able to submit. So in the first section where you have your personal data, you have your first name, you put in your first name, and in this workflow, we'll just use a dummy data just to illustrate the process. So here, the first name is Jane. So Jane is the one applying, and Jane's last name is Doe. So we use Jane Doe, and middle name is optional. You may want to put in your middle name. And gender, you select your gender, and you put in your email address and your contact address. Your state of origin, your country of origin, your date of birth, and your phone number. After that, you click on next. It will take you to the next window which is the educational qualification. Here, the first one is your highest level of education. So you have a drop-down arrow here to select your highest level of education. BSc, we have master's or PhD. So you select the one, select the appropriate one. And after that, first degree school name, you select your university name. Here we use the University of ISI, just to illustrate, yeah. So you select your university, you type in your university and your first degree graduation year. The year that you graduated, you put in the year here, and your first degree grade, if it's first class or 2-1, you type that in. So your first degree course or program, you put in your course here. And your CGPA / GPA, you put that here. And the scholarship you're applying for, you select the scholarship you're applying for. Is it GRE, GMAT, LSA, LSAT, MC, AT, or TOEFL? You select the scholarship you're applying for. International passport number, this is optional. Then when do you plan to write the test? It's important that you put in the date when you are planning to write the test. So we need you to, input the date here. And also, have you previously applied for iScholar Initiative Scholarship before? So you have the option yes or no. So if you have applied before, you select yes. And if you have not, you select no. Have you completed your NYC? Yes, no, or currently serving. So you select, if you have, you select yes, and if you have not, no, and if you are currently serving. So you go to next. And the next window comes up. That is the profile. In the profile section, you are going to write your CV and your CV. Here, you are going to type in that. So we advise that if you already have your CV in a Word document, you just copy and paste here. And also, please take note that we have 500 words limits. So 500 words limit. So if you have more than that, you won't be able to proceed. So you try and limit the words to be, within this number. Like I said, you are going to type it from your Word document. And if you have more than 500 words, if there are other skills that you want, or career goals, other information that you want to, let us know, you have the option here where you have other skills and experiences. So you can put that here. You can type that in this section. And also in this section, we have 200 words limits. And we have the personal statements. Here, you're going to type in your personal statement here. And again, it's 500 words limit. And we have the examination study plan. So what are your study plan regarding the GRE, regarding the TOEFL? So that is where we want to see you, put those information here. And like I said, some of these requirements, our panelists are going to go in details to discuss all of that. So if you have your questions, you can put them down now. So they're going to discuss all of that, to give you more idea what the expectations are. So after that, you go to the next window. You click on next. It will take you to the next window, which is the reference. Here, we need 2 references from you. The first reference is going to be academic reference, while the second reference is going to be from your employer, either your employer, professional mentor, or your manager. So the first reference, like I said, is going to be academic reference. So you can get that from your lecturer or your supervisor, and you put the name of who you're going to use, the person's name here. So here we use Professor John Bull. So we type Professor John Bull and the email. Please take note, this email, like we put here, is important, and the email has to be an academic email. We are not expecting to see any, Yahoo email or Gmail. It has to be an official email. So if you see the email we use here is an official email, and that's what we're expecting to see. And your reference phone number, you put the person's phone number here, and your university name, your department, the department, and the relationship. If he's your lecturer or your supervisor, you put that here. So the second reference, the same way you get, you put the person you're going to use as your second reference, you put their details here. So here we use Mary Nightingale and her email address. Her email address is here. We'll put her phone number and the organization, which is Premium Global. And if you look at the organization, which is Premium Global, so we're also expecting to see the email address to be, to be an organization email address. And relationship, if the person is your manager or your professional mentor, put that in here. And you go to next, which is the last section before you submit. Here is the attachment. This is where you're going to upload, some documents to us. So the first one is your passport photograph, and it has to be in, JPG or PNG format. So you upload your passport photograph and your first degree transcript. You upload that. Also, you upload your first degree certificate, if you have that. And if you don't have that, if you have your statement of results, you upload it. And your NYC certificate, you upload that. If you don't have that, and you have your call-up letter, you can upload that in place of NYC certificate. So when you are done, you hit submit. So when you hit submit, automatically, you are going to get a confirmation email from us telling you, congratulations, your application has been received and is being reviewed. You will get a response from us if you qualify. Also, it's important when you submit, you also, the person you used in your reference, to the reference slide, to the profile. Yes, section 4, the reference. The email you use here, is going to get, the person is going to get an automatic, email from us when you hit submit. It's going to get email notifying the person that you have selected him or her as a referee, and the person needs to fill the reference for you. And when that is done, how are you going to know when the person have done that? So when the person you've selected fills that reference, you're also going to get an email. You're going to get a reference confirmation that the referee provided has completed his or her reference. You will get that notification that your referee has completed, the reference for you.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And if you have any question, please.
Yes, there are actually a
put down
whole
your
lot
questions,
of
and there will be question and answer. Yes,
are
we're expecting that.
already.
Yeah, and
Before
put down your
take,
questions. There will be a question and answer at the end of.
Yes, there will be a question and answer
Thank
session.
you.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
So now we'll just go into discussing the application requirements. Yes, Dr. Salako, can you hear me, sir? Okay, but I cannot hear you. Can we hear him? Mark, can you hear him?
I can't hear him.
No,
No.
no.
Oh, we can't hear you, sir. Okay.
Are you muted?
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
Mrs. Ezekwe, yes, you're with
Okay,
us.
we can start with
Oh,
Madam
okay.
Ezekwe.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll go ahead and start.
they're all here. Okay. Yes. So
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Oh,
we can hear you, sir.
we can hear you
Awesome.
now.
Now you're on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start.
Yes. The application requirements this year, we have personal statements, examination study plan.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. CV, resume, references, transcripts, certificates, and a whole lot. But one of the most important thing, well, everything is important, but I believe one that is that is going to make everyone stand out is their story, which is the personal statement. So, ma'am, I'd just like you to just discuss what would be a winning iScholar scholarship application personal statement. What should be in it?
Okay. Thank you. For personal statement, this is very, very important. Every part of these requirements are important, for your application. And I even put extra importance to personal statement because it's a way to introduce yourself to the iScholar partners that are going to be reviewing your application, or even personal statement for graduate studies or any program that you are going to. Basically, what it means is that you are introducing yourself. You are not there. You're painting a portrait or a picture of who you are, what you've done. So in personal statement, basically, you want to say, indicate who you are, why you are applying, why you are a good candidate or an excellent candidate, what are you, and also what you want to do in future. So it's a way to convey that to the selection committee and to indicate to them that you have a solid achievement behind you, and also that you show a promise as in future that you will be a successful graduate student. So again, to me, the way I look at it is that there are pretty much 4 parts to writing your personal statement. 1, introducing yourself and your interests, your motivations, what gets you going, what differentiates you from other people. Summarize what your undergraduate and previous graduate career has been. What have you accomplished in the past? Narrate it, write it in a way that if I'm reading it or any other person is reading it, they are not there. It will be so clear to them to know you, to understand you, and also the relevance of your recent, how do you tie your recent accomplishment and current activities into what you're going to do in the future? What do you plan to do? Explain and to people that are reading this, what is it that you plan to do in future? Elaborate on your academic interest. Again, because you want to go to graduate study. What do you want to do? How do you want to help the world or humanity or whatever is it that drives you? Those are the things that you need to cover in your personal statement. People looking at it, reviewing it, they are reading between the lines, trying to find out, are you a self-motivated person? Do you have the competency? how much potential do you have as a graduate student? Those are the things, when somebody is reading your personal statement, we try to get out of it. Emphasize what you've done, or your describing yourself in a positive perspective. I will really encourage you to write in an active voice. Demonstrate with examples. It's not enough to tell me that you are persistent or you are hardworking. How? I'm not there. I don't know you, or whoever is reviewing it don't know you. So in your personal statement, use examples of experiences, or, what is it that makes you, persistent, or if you say that you are very hardworking and loyal, give examples. And if anything, that affects your grades, maybe you were struggling and all that kind of thing, something personal, you have to really distinguish yourself from every other person that is applying, because you are unique. What you are bringing to the world is unique. So we want to be able to see that. So that's what I would say about personal statement.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. You have really, really done that extensively, and we really, really appreciate that. I would just want to say if we could keep our responses to 30 seconds, 1 minute. So
okay.
Because of time, yes.
Sorry
so I would
about
want Dr. Salako to say something about personal statements too.
Okay, are you hearing me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Good. Well, Madam has really given us a comprehensive overview. I will just say that potential applicants for iScholar, there are also potential applicants for the postgraduate school, for graduate schools. So the same statement they give us is going to be very similar to the same statement they will give to their university. So just a little tweak. And that is why we have put it that you should have a very good use of English. We are going to be looking for that. Your clarity of information, how succinctly you are narrating your previous achievements. And are you self-driven? Can you link your past achievement with your next goal? What is your understanding of the future solution to the world key challenges in your area of expertise? What are the key challenges? If you are into energy, for instance, you know that the world is looking for clean energy. So tell us about that. Why should we sponsor you? Why should we sponsor you? You need to tell us that, because maybe you are financially not too buoyant, or just tell us why we should sponsor you. So these are the things that are important to state in the personal statement, or statement of purpose, so to say.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Ojale, the personal statement is one very, very important aspect of the requirement. So it would be nice to also hear your thoughts on what a winning personal statement should be.
Is it there?
Is he?
Are you on mute, sir? You're on mute, sir.
Unmute yourself.
Oh, can you unmute? No, Fahidat, can you unmute him?
Yes, I'll do that.
Unmute him, please.
I'll do that. Okay, so participant, I can see we have a whole lot of questions. We'll try as our possible best to go through all questions here. Sorry, please, just a few.
Yeah. We still cannot hear you.
Okay, Okay, I think he said he was going to change his device. Oh my God.
He's having the same problem
Okay,
as me.
Yes,
you
yes.
ask him?
We're just going to, I'm going to unmute him, but so we do not waste time. The next is when he is able to speak, he's still going to talk about the personal statement. So the next requirement is the examination study plan. There are so many. I remember when I applied. He's on mute. He's on mute. We still cannot hear him.
Let's the next panelist speak if he's not.
Yes, Dr. Ayani Boyega, please, are you on the call? Participants, please, you try not to touch the screen. You're annotating on the screen. That is why we are seeing so many lines. So please try not to touch the screen. I don't.
You hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, sir.
Okay. For one bizarre reason, I couldn't unmute myself. And when I did so, the microphone I'm using didn't work. So thanks, Faidat. Thanks, Dr. Salako and Mrs. Ezekwe. I think you've covered practically everything I would like to say about the personal statement. The key emphasis I had wanted to put is what Dr. Salako has also indicated. We need, as part of that statement, for you to show us why you need sponsorship for the various examinations you are looking at. Because as you can imagine, we have a deluge of applications. Last year, we had more than 1,000 applications for just about 50 slots. So you really, really need to have exceptional personal statement, not only tying your current activities, your previous activities, to your current activities and to your future prospects, but also indicating why you need that financial assistance from iScholar to be able to write your GMAT, your GRE, and TOEFL exams. And that's all I will include at this point in time in regards to the personal statement. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for keeping that short. Dr. Boyega Ayeni, please, are you on the call? While I wait to find you, we're just going to move on because of time. Examination study plan. I remember when I applied for iScholar Initiative Scholarship in 2019, I was really wondering, what is a GRE plan? Why are they asking me for a GRE plan? And I'm sure a lot of participants here have the same thoughts. So, sir, Dr. Salako, please, could you give us some insight into what an examination study plan is? And do we have to write an examination study plan for all the exams we wish iSI to sponsor for us?
Yes, examination study plan is very important. It shows to us that you can plan things ahead. You can plan for yourself. You are self-motivated, and you can manage your time. You have an idea of what is expected to be able to write the GRE. For instance, what are the materials you have gathered? What are the information you have had from the university? Have you been contacting the university? Do you understand the dates, the deadlines? Some universities, all universities, not some, have deadlines for the applications for somebody who will start in August. So within that time, if you know that the university can admit you in August, have you made application? Okay, now, if you have made application, when do you plan to write your exam? We want to know that you are serious. You can plan. You know, maybe you have other things you are doing. You know, maybe you are doing NYSC, you have your primary assignment, for instance. How are you planning within?
Oh, I think that was his network. Wow, he's giving so much insight into that.
You are going to study. You know.
He's back.
So it's important, because even in for instance, PhD and all what have you, we usually write a study plan, you know, to show that we know what we are doing.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that, sir. A plan is very, very important. Apart from um, your examination study plan, even your graduate school application plan. I mean, when do you want to search for schools? When do you want to apply? When do you want to complete your statement of purpose and all of that? Dr. Ojele, please, can you give an insight into what the plan should look like?
You mean the study plan?
Yes, the
Yes.
study plan.
Okay, so in my own perspective, and I think Dr. Salako also covered that, the plan should not be too verbose. I've seen 4 pages, 5 pages of plan. And sometimes when you have to review so many applications, you can't afford to be reading 4 or 5 pages on just a study plan alone. As Dr. Salako mentioned, it suffices to, I would expect if you are applying for applications or funding for GRE, GMAT, I would expect 2 separate headings, one for GRE, indicating, okay, this is when I actually plan to write the exam. Between now and then, this is how I intend to study for it. These are the materials that I've already discovered or that I'm already working with. And these are the materials which I probably don't have, but I'm looking at the possibility of laying my hands on them. If you have test plans, computer-based, what's it called, mocks examinations that you've already attempted, it's also good if you can indicate, yes, I've already attempted this mock examination. I know I need a minimum score of 360 or 400. And so far, I've been able to get like 330, 320. So I'm working on upping my scores. And that's the kind of indication I would like to see in an examination study plan.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, sir. Because of time, Mrs. Ezekwe, a CV resume, what should a CV for iScholar Initiative Scholarship look like? Is it something, is it a CV, a kind of CV where maybe I'm applying to maybe ExxonMobil or I'm applying to Shell? Is that the type of CV that you want me to submit? Or what are you looking for in the CV? What should be there? And could you give some insight into that?
Your resume or CV, what we'll be looking for is to see, I mean, if you have professional or work experiences, you should add it, include it in your CV, or even if it includes, or even if it's volunteering activities, you don't have a paid kind of work, that is also valid. If there are honors or awards that you have received, that is relevant. That is really, really relevant to what you are wanting to do going to graduate school or what you want to do in future. You capture it there. You have to make it very concise. Yes, a lot of you have done different things. So you have to figure out what are the things that are important, that is relevant to your graduate studies, because that's what eventually what you are trying to apply to here, that you should include in your CV. That's definitely something that will help you or help when somebody is looking at what you have done and other things, or even sometime, you have to look at it again from your personal statement, because the reviewers are reading your personal statement, they are looking at your examination studies, they are study plan, they are looking at your, reference, trying to tie all this. So, and of course, your CV would have your academic achievement, maybe your whether you have first class or whatever academic award that you have. So that consistency, we're also looking at it. We are not just looking at just personal statement. We are looking at the total person, all the information that you gave to us. So it's important that you are consistent. What you have in academic aligns with, your resume aligns with what you talked about yourself, or even what your references says about you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. You have covered that extensively. So there's this new requirement, well, not so new, reference, and I'm sure a lot of us have questions on reference. Last year, only one reference was required, only one reference letter rather was required. But this year, we want to see two reference letters, academic and character reference. Dr. Ojele, please could you help us differentiate between these two, and really what do you want to see in this reference letter so we know what to communicate to our referees?
Thanks, Vaidat. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So the main reason why we sort of requested or are requesting for a character reference this time around is essentially because we do have candidates who not only have finished their academic work, but are either currently observing the National Youth Service Corps or have just finished. And going back to the issue of resume, what the panelists have mentioned and the personal statement, you probably would have made some claims to say, okay, I got this award, or I did excellently well in my area of either vocational engagement or voluntary work, that I was given, I was recognized. And we just don't want to take your claim for it. We want to ensure that somebody who was either your supervisor or who had responsibility for you can actually affirm that what you've claimed is exactly what actually took place. Just like in academic reference, if I say to you that I got a first class and I was top of my class and I was given an award, somebody who was my professor in the university should be able to confirm that through an academic reference. And that's essentially why we are asking that each applicant this year is able not only to give us an academic reference, but also to give us a reference from somebody who knows them differently from the academic perspective as to their character, as to their ability to motivate themselves to work independently and to take responsibility for themselves, their career development, and of course, in so many cases, to be able to offer some leadership roles to other people as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Salako, what do you have to say about references too?
Yes, I think generally speaking, the references are recommendation letters. And it would be good to have somebody in the university and somebody outside the university to write for you. Even if you don't have work and you just finished from university, maybe you are a good church attendee or mosque attendee. Somebody should be able to write for you something that attests to your character. But even at that, your lecturers can be you can have two lecturers to write two letters for you. But in that letter, we don't just want to see your academic attestation, which we already see in your academic record, your transcripts mostly. We also want to see an account of your referee being similar to your account, some of your accounts in statement of purpose. We want to see your referee probably telling us a little bit about your financial situation if it is necessary. Your leadership and volunteering and community service is very important. And your character and behavior. You see, they usually say worthy, learning, and character. For the learning, we can see in transcripts sometimes, most of the time. But for the character, people have to say it to us, for us to know. So, because we are not just sponsoring you to come and make A, to get excellent degree, we also want to see that you are going to contribute to the society, to be a better, to make the society better, you know. So that is why both academic reference and character reference are important.
Okay, Great. Thank you very, very much, sir. Transcripts. Okay, I think we still need to talk about that. But before then, Dr. Guega has joined us. I'll still, I'm sure a lot of us think or know that the personal statement rather is very important, and would still want to hear another person's perspective of what a personal statement should look like. So, Dr.
Faidat,
Ayeni, yes, sir.
Faidat, can I just quickly make an interjection before we leave the references?
Okay, yes, please, sir.
Just to emphasize to all our prospective applicants, please ensure you have the right email for your referees when completing your application. That is very, very important. As Mrs. Mbaduga have mentioned earlier on, when you submit your application, your referees will get a notification telling them they have to submit an online reference for you. So if you put a wrong email, it means your referee will not get the needed notification, will not submit a reference for you, and your application will not be considered. If you give the right email and did not get a notification back to you yourself, indicating that the referee has completed the reference, please ensure you chase them up before the deadline for the application. So I just wanted to emphasize that so that our prospective applicants are aware of what they need to be doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please, can I say a little thing about the reference to? It's really important that you pick somebody that knows you, that you have a relationship with, to write a reference for you. That way they really know you. They will be able to tell us who you are with respect to your academic achievement or your character. Again, it's not enough to say that, James is smart and got 5.5 GPA. That's not what we are looking for. We want to get to know James. Who is he? Either academically, his character. So they need to demonstrate in their writing. So look for somebody that will make the time to do that for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe that we've actually covered a whole lot on these references, and any question that is still regarding reference, we'll definitely answer. So Dr. Ayeni, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, great, sir. Yes, sir. So we've been discussing the application requirements, and we just want to get your perspective on what a winning iScholar application personal statement should look like.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So first, I apologize. I miscalculated the time difference.
Oh,
I really apologize for that. So I'm really honored to participate in this session. And I thank everyone that's called in particular the applicants. So thanks. I think it's the first step to preparing yourself to the next step, basically in your career. So thanks for calling in. So the personal statement is really important. So it obviously is part of the application package into grad school. Actually, I think it's one of the most important things. And the way I would personally approach it if I were applying for this is basically telling my story. So think of it about, like you're telling your story. So what makes you unique? What makes you special? And I want to look at the competition. So it's really a competition, right? But your competition is not the other applicants for the scholarship, really. It's a global pool that graduate schools are looking at. So you have applicants from Asia, applicants from different parts of the world. They're going to take the same exams. They're going to write statements of purpose, and they'll try to sell themselves to the schools or the programs they'll be applying to. So that's where I'll start from. So what makes you unique? What makes you competitive compared to other students from different parts of the world? So what's your story? So obviously academics is one of them. What do you aspire to accomplish? Why should you win this opportunity compared to, again, not just applicants for the iSI scholarship, but applicants into the programs that you are looking to apply to. So that's a starting point. Once you start from there, I think you can really draft up a winning statement of purpose. So where you're coming from, where you are, and where you're going. Why are you confident that you would accomplish what you hope to accomplish during your graduate program and after you finish your graduate program? And also maybe speaking to some extent, some of your accomplishments as well to date. Because again, that will give an indication to the assessors that you're prepared and equipped to face the challenges ahead. And if given the scholarship, that would put you one step closer to your dreams.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that, sir. So I've seen so many insights into this, and I'm sure if I were applying for this, I'm sure I'll be able to write a winning one. I'm very confident of that. Okay, yes. So Dr. Salako, I know there is really nothing about transcripts, but first degree transcript. Why is it just first degree transcript? What if I have done an MSc or something? Don't you want to see my
Okay.
transcript?
Okay. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. We emphasize first degree transcript because that is your foundation. Every other thing you have built, you are going to build, you are building, you are going to build on the foundation. And we want to be able to compare all the applicants together so that we pick the best. We don't want somebody to have an extra advantage over the other, because really your first degree is the best. Actually, first degree is the best degree anybody can have. You know, I usually say that may be contestable, but it's the foundation, and we want to place all our applicants on the same pedestal. Not only that, even if you want to study for PhD in US, they go back to your first degree and they check. And the way we have done it is that if you have 3.5, you are different from somebody who has 4.0. So we try to give you points based on that. You are really not going to change anything on your academic record. It is what it is. The best time you could change it is when you are in the undergraduate. You know, once you leave the undergraduate school, you cannot change it again. So that is why it's the least most important of all these things we are saying here today. But it is also important because it carries 30% of everything we are going to examine. So that is what I can say about your academic record, your transcript.
Thank you very much, sir. So because of time, so that we can take as much questions as possible, your first degree certificate, if you don't have your certificate, you can always upload your statement of results, NYSC certificate or call-up letter. You don't need to have finished serving for you to apply. You get your call-up letter even before you start serving. Yeah, once you register, so you can always upload that. So I'll just move right into the question and answer now. And we have quite a number of questions. So there is someone that asked about reference, that if sorry. Okay. We have quite a number of questions. Okay, so what would you advise someone that just completed a bachelor's degree who is without NYSC call-up letter or discharge certificate?
Okay. Do you want any member
Yes,
of the
sir.
panel to respond or specific
Yes,
ones?
go ahead, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. As long as you've completed your first degree and you can show evidence of the transcripts and statement of result, if you can still apply, especially if you are about to take on the National Youth Service Corps. The point remains that before we can sponsor you for the exams, we expect that you would have finished the youth service anyway. So because there is no point giving you the funding and then you won't be able to take up any you won't be able to take up any graduate scholarship or graduate study offers that may eventually come your way. So that's why we actually expect people who are already on youth service or have completed to show us their certificates and call-up letters, so that we also know that um, they've been responsible enough, because we don't believe in illegality. Part of the rules in Nigeria is that if you are below a certain age and you have actually undertaken first degree education in Nigeria, you must serve your nation. And serving the nation means that you can show us proof you are currently on service or you've completed that service. And if for any reason you are unable to show that, then we do not want to be, I would say, quote and unquote, involved in any kind of illegality. And that's why you may discover that others who have completed call-up or have completed their youth services would be considered far ahead of you. So I won't say don't apply. If you finish your first degree and you are about to start youth service, but bear in mind that at the time that we are considering applications, if you are yet to complete your youth service, you may not be able to get funding. And I will also address the question by someone with regards to what if I have tutu? I would ask, I haven't studied in the US, but I studied in the UK and I know a bit about the Canadian system. If you don't have a second class upper degree, you can be sure that you probably won't get picked by any of the top universities or even second class universities in North America. And that's why we emphasize as much as possible, make sure the minimum CGPA, your cumulative grade point average when you leave university for your first degree, is minimum of a second class upper. And therefore, again, against the background of applications we've seen so far over the last 2 years or thereabout, believe me sincerely, you have a 2-2, you won't get nowhere with iScholar initiative, because we have a mass of people with 2-1 and even first class degree seriously competing for the limited amount of funding we have. So if you are still in university and actually listening to this webinar, please shape up. If you want the best of graduate study anywhere in the world outside Nigeria, you must have a second class upper degree minimum.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for the response, sir. I want us to keep our responses within 30 seconds, 1 minute, so we can take as many questions as possible. Now that NYSC is required, does it mean the scholarship is only for Nigerians? I am from Kenya and we don't do NYSC. Mrs. Ezekwe, please, can you take this?
Actually, I'm going to defer this. I don't know anything about NYSC. So somebody else on the panel may be able to respond to this.
Okay.
I don't know much about NYSC. Let me put it that way.
Well, I will not want to contradict what our VP operation, Dr. Jekule, said, because he made reference to that based on the fact that we expect our scholars to be able to consider as one option, an important option for that matter, to come back to Nigeria after their sojourn abroad, whether they work after their study or they quickly move back to Nigeria, to be able to participate in Nigeria. You know, currently, most of our scholars are Nigerians, and we have planned to expand across Africa. So if you are from Kenya and you apply, that NYSC will not be applicable to you. Okay? So, but if you are from Nigeria, I'm sorry, NYSC has to be applicable to you because it is a requirement of law in Nigeria, you know, before you can go for graduate studies. You know, you cannot attend a master's class in Nigeria without your NYSC. But for East Africa or any other part of Africa, you know, we will make sure we follow the applicable law, applicable situation in your country. That's the answer I can give to that.
Okay, thank you, sir. In case of applicants that have graduated in the past 2 to 3 years, they've lost cordial contact with their lecturers. Can one use only or probably 2 professional referees?
Can I answer that?
Okay, yes, please go ahead, sir.
Okay. I left FUTA in the year, almost 20 years, I think 20 years or going to 21 years. I still have contact with my lecturers, you know. In fact, if I want to do anything now, if they require me to get a reference from my lecturers, there are some of them have retired, some of them are still there, you know. So, and even some of my mates are also professors now anyway. If I need reference that are academic, some of my mates can also write it for me. One of my mates is in iScholar, who is a professor in Ife. If I ask him to write something for me, he will write for me. So I do not think that is a possibility. 2-3 years, you lose contact with your lecturer. That is not even good for somebody who will be a leader. Exactly. You know. Thank you.
Your relationship.
And also, let me say this. You know, these are really the requirements for the application, and there's no exception. If you are not able to provide that, then other people, I mean, you will not have a good chance of getting into the program or getting the scholarship. You know, we can't. It's not practical that that the iScholar is going to make exception for everybody. Okay. So, and these are reasonable requirements that are being asked for candidates to provide.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So someone has a question that is really bothering him. It says, my university does not have a designated institutional email for each lecturer. The school is Oduduwa University. The school only has its official institutional email, info@oduduwauniversity.edu.ng. I can take this. So the person asking this question, from my knowledge, I studied in Nigeria. Yes, from my knowledge, most institutions, most lecturers have institutional email addresses, but most of us do not know that. It is until you reach out to them, that is when you would know that they actually have institutional email addresses. So it would be best for you to contact your lecturer and ask for this and let them know that it is very important that you use their official email. And if you still want to, if you've done that and maybe you still don't have, you can reach out to us via email and we'll take it from there. Someone is asking, is TOEFL the only English proficiency exam that can be sponsored? What about IELTS? Can it also be considered? Dr. Oje?
At the moment, iScholar does not consider IELTS. So TOEFL is mostly, I know, yes, in Canada, they have 2 types of IELTS. One is academic, and the other is basically, one is academic, and the other is the general one that they use mostly for immigration. But I mean, the short answer is that for now, we only sponsor TOEFL in iScholar. We do not consider IELTS at all.
Okay. Yeah, if let me add to that. I mean, even at the point when you are applying during the online application, you will see the options there. So the options we cover are there. So IELTS is not included. So you will see the options that we sponsor.
Okay, thank you. So someone is asking, does the scholarship sponsor application fees? I'm asking because I can't see it on the online form. It only states for examination. So This year, the scholarship, the initiative would be sponsoring a predetermined number of application fees. So it is not on the application form. It's a step-by-step process. We're sponsoring the GRE TOEFL application fees. For the GRE, you need to score, there's a cutoff mark, there's a mark you need to get to be eligible to get the TOEFL. And looking at all your application results, that would determine how many applications the initiative will sponsor for you, like how many application fees the initiative will sponsor for you. I hope that gives clarity to your question. I'm sorry, I'm trying trying to make sure we cover as many questions as possible. So we have another IELTS. Can we upload our CV in PDF format? Yes, the format is stated right in front of the document, so you can see it there. PDF, best you use PDF. Okay. As regarding the second reference, what if you are self-employed?
Faidat, sorry, can you unmute? Let's unmute.
Okay. As regarding the second reference, what if you are self-employed?
Before we go to that, Faidat, please.
Yes,
the question on PDF for CV resumes, we are not accepting any attachment for CV and resumes. CV and resumes must be pasted as text format into the online application. We are going to be very, very specific about the attachments that can be uploaded at the end of the application. Attachments are specific to the field required. So if you upload CV and resume, a PDF version of it as part of the attachment, you've already filled the application procedure. Your CV and resume must be cut and pasted as text into the online application system. We will not be able to start collating PDF of CV and resumes and start going through them one by one, which is why we implemented our online portal application system.
The option is not even there online. If you are going to where you have the section where you put in your CV and all that, it doesn't give you option to put, so you can only copy and paste or type in.
Exactly.
And if also anybody your is trying to statement, your personal statement,
and your personal statement, yeah.
Exactly. And if anybody tries to be smart by converting them to PDF and then merging them with other documents that are supposed to go into specific fields, I'm sorry, that application has already failed.
Instructions are very, very important. Yes.
Well, so, it's also part of the test, you know, looking if you cannot follow the instructions, what is required for the application, you have to be really meticulous about this. That's the bottom line, you know. If you are being asked to provide something in PDF, you provide in PDF. If you are being in PDF format, if you are being asked to put it in directly on the portal, you do that. And it's pretty much straightforward, and the partners reviewing this will not have the time to chase and try to find things where else, if you put them in another place. You pretty much disqualify yourself by doing that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So to the question about being self-employed, says how would he get a reference if he's self-employed? I believe he's asking who else can he have? Who else can he request?
I can take that. Okay. Well, there is nobody that cannot get a reference. As I said the other time, even if you are self-employed, you are serving some people. Yeah. So the kind of service you provide for them, is it low quality or high quality? What kind of behavior do you have? Such a person should be able to give you reference, a testimony kind of, to your behavior, to your character, to your quality of work, to how it's important. There is no way you won't be able to get that. Even if you cannot get that easily, readily, go and get two of your lecturer, one to write on to give you academic reference, one to give you character reference. They must have known you for at least 4 years to be able to testify to your character, not only to your academic.
And also somebody that is self-employed, there are other things you do, other interaction, even outside your work, your community, your church, your mosque, your village, or, there has to be people that really know you that you can ask to write reference for you.
Thank you very much for that response. Someone is asking, what is the boundary in dates to consider in choosing a preferable date to write the test? So we've been uploading articles on our website, and it would be great for you to follow them and read them to the letter. So one of the requirements is that you're going to take your GRE or GMAT test latest August 2020. So that has given you a boundary already. And
2021. 2021.
Oh my God. 2021.
Hi, don't take us back to 2020, please.
No, we're not going back. We're moving forward.
We are moving forward.
So 2021. So I believe that has given you a boundary that you want. And another question is, can I use my lecturer for a second referee?
I think that's already been answered by Dr. Salako.
Oh.
So if you have two lecturers, one can attest to your academic prowess and the other can give you character reference, then that's perfect.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So that means one person cannot write the two.
No, one person can write two references. So you will need at least one academic referee and one character referee. So if for any reason you can't get somebody else, I don't know why you won't be able to get somebody else apart from your lecturer to write a character reference for you, we would accept it if you submit that. But of course, you already know in a way you are putting yourself at a disadvantage compared to others who have an academic referee and also have somebody who is not academic able to provide a character reference for them.
Okay, thank you for that response. Can we use an unofficial transcript for submission, like a student copy?
Yes, as long as the student copy is certified by the university as a true copy of the transcript, we would, in the meantime, accept that and use it as one of the key, what's it called, for our assessment, key documents for our assessment. It has to be certified. But you also have to understand that we take every act of illegality very, very seriously. So if for any reason during the application process, review process, or even after the award of funding, we discover that you've been, what's it called? That transcript has been altered in any shape, form, or form, then do not be surprised if we come back at you in a way that you do not want us to do so. So please, as much as possible, shun all form of illegality when relating to us as at iScholar Initiative.
Okay, thank you, sir. Still on references. Regarding references, I work in a place where we don't have an official email. How do I go about this? Before you respond, sir, I want everyone to note that the references, your referees do not need to use a letterhead or a letterheaded paper, rather. They don't need to upload anything. They're just going to fill, there's a box for them to fill in what they think about you. So since they're not using a letterhead and that makes it easy because we know everyone is at home now, it is just important that they use an official email, whether the academic or the organizational one. And really a standard organization, I believe, with the way we do branding in Nigeria, should have an organizational email. I don't know if anyone wants to take the question. Okay.
Well, I totally agree with you, Faidat. But let me also put a caveat in here, because I've been an advocate of that branding and doing things very properly. But I can still tell you that in some few cases, there are places where you would expect that people would have official email addresses, but for one reason or the other, people are using personal yahoo.com email address for official correspondences. So I think we will just have to consider some cases where we are given email addresses for referees that do not have a formal email address or an official email address. We may need to investigate further, and then at that point in time, we might make a call on whether we will accept that reference or not.
Okay, thank you for that, sir. Okay, I'm still going through the questions to know which one we've not covered, because as we've been discussing, a lot of the questions here have been, I believe you all have gotten answers, but if there is anyone that you're still not clear about, please feel free to send them to me. The name is iScholar Initiative. And to everyone watching on YouTube, your questions, we can see them too. So we're going to ask your questions. And this session is recorded. Yes, you can always go back to our YouTube channel to watch this session again. I can see a lot of people asking about what should be in the personal statement, what should be in the study plan. The panelists have extensively discussed these requirements. So please, you can always go back to our YouTube channel to watch the session again. So someone is asking, can a good master's result suffice for a weak academic record in the first degree transcript?
Okay, Dr. Dela, go ahead, please.
No, I actually wanted to say that Dr. Salako should respond.
I'll read that by any actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Ayani.
Yeah, so I can take that. So I think that's a really good question. So obviously, I think this has been addressed to an extent. So your first degree is very important. But in the case where your first degree results or transcripts are not outstanding, if you have an outstanding result from your master's degree, please go ahead and submit it, or submit those results, and they'll be considered. And it's going to be on a case-by-case basis, obviously. But that's something that will be considered as well. But the first premise is to give to look at your first degree transcripts. And like I said, if you have outstanding master's degree results, those can be taken into account in the case that your first degree transcript is not up to par.
Okay, thank you for that response, sir. So we have people that did not go to universities. They went to polytechnics, and awesome, they had their HND rather with good grades. Will people from polytechnics be considered?
I don't know if I can jump on this, sorry, because this looks like a management decision kind of things, right? So I know just for all of us to be on the same page, our first preference is you have your first degree based on all our panelists have been, talking about. And it makes it a lot easier, not just for the process, but for your potential to actually secure
graduate study.
Not just an admission offer, but funded offer in any university in the world. But recently, we have also looked at the possibility for the HND folks. The bar is going to be a bit higher for you because I was talking to Dr. Akambi, our VP Talent and Development, the other day on, okay, what will it require for HND folks to also be able to leverage on the opportunity that we have got to offer. So if you are an HND holder, you want to make sure you already have a distinction, that's the starting point. Then you also want to make sure that you get your result evaluated For example, here in the United States, we have quite a number of organizations that evaluate, kind of map what you have in Nigeria to what it is here. For example, if you're a distinction holder, they look at the transcript, and they can, depending on your CGPA, they can say, oh, by the way, the equivalence of what you have in Nigeria is first class or 2-1. Because many schools here, that is what they require of you before you even apply. But I think the short answer here is you can apply, but with an additional task of making sure that you already have your result evaluated, because that's what will assess you based on. And of course, we also want to make sure, I think Dr. Salako mentioned, we don't want to put anybody above the other. I mean, give undue advantage. Give undue advantage. We want to make sure our assessment is given equal metrics. So, and to ensure that we will need at least an evaluated version of your degree, your HND degree. So maybe Dr. Akambi want to jump on that and clarify too. So, but we want to make sure we open this opportunity to as many people as possible. So yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you for that, sir. Dr. Akambi, you can unmute and speak.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Quickly, I think Mr. Ogmola has said it right. In terms of, and I believe Dr. Oje also mentioned it, to be honest with you, we really wanted to make the field a level playing for everybody. So if we are going to be considering only the first degree transcript. So if you have an HND, it would be good if you can provide an evaluated version of your HND degree so that we can be able to compare with others. And something else that I believe Dr. Boyega mentioned. Yeah, if you're, I like to shoot straight. To be honest with you, if you don't have a 2-1 and above, I think your chances is going to be very low. Let's be honest with ourselves. Because as we said also, we want to make the plane to be leveled. If you have a master's degree transcript and you have a lower under first degree, it will not be fair enough on others to use that as one of the consideration for you. So again, what we are saying is going to be simply based on the first degree transcripts. And not just only that, when you look at admission in the North America, you simply find out that it's not like the master's degree is not important, but mostly these admissions are based on your first degree transcripts. So I always advise candidates, like Mr. Oje said, if you are still in school right now, you still have the chance to build up your first degree, to build up your GPA, but because that will go a long way for you. Just quickly, something that I also wanted to mention is the fact that people have talked about TOEFL exam and the other IELTS. In the North American academic and admission way, mostly TOEFL is the generally accepted in most of these schools. And that's the reason why we are sticking with TOEFL, because the fact remains that you want to apply to several schools and you want to have what is generally accepted. That is why we are sticking to the TOEFL exam. And nearly every school in the North America will accept your TOEFL result. The last thing again was the TOEFL sponsorship is dependent on your score on the GRE exam. If you have to make we believe you have to make at least 300 out of 340 in the GRE for you to be qualified for the TOEFL. So because you chose to be sponsored for GRE and TOEFL in your application doesn't mean you automatically qualify for that. And in terms of the application fee, we have, I think the management, the iSI has also decided that we'll be sponsoring 2 application fees provided you meet the requirement both for the GRE and the TOEFL exams. However, we don't want you to feel like we are saying we are sponsoring an application and you think you can apply to 10 schools, 5 schools. I believe the goal is to help with 2 application fees. I'm saying this so that you also, based on what our panelists have said today, you want to go out of the box to look out for funding and also try it as much as possible to get yourself motivated. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. So a lot of us are concerned about who can write our academic reference. Is it only professors that can write this reference? Can a PhD holder write it? Maybe someone who is doctor, can such person write it?
As long as that person is one of your lecturers who knows your academic ability, that's what matters. There are a lot of masters in so many other universities that have lectured and turned out professors over a number of years. And for one reason or the other, they do not have a PhD or a professor to their name. The fact remains that their academic input and output is what people have sort of given them credence on, and that's what we are looking at. So it's not about the title that somebody is bearing professor. It's about the fact that they know you academically, they've taught you, they know your academic prowess, and they can attest to it. That's what we want to see.
Okay, thank you, sir. Talking about transcripts, many people are concerned about the application timeline, which is just 1 month. They're saying due to the pandemic, they've not been able to, we know how slow federal universities are with processing transcripts. That will there be any consideration for them?
Unfortunately, we also have a timeline within which not only do we have to review the applications that comes to us in iScholar, that we have to do the award. We are also cognizant of the fact that we want to ensure that our applicants that are funded for all these exams, GRE, GMAT, have their results ready for the application window for all the different universities they might want to consider worldwide. It's very unfortunate that Nigeria is the way it is, but at the same time, as much as we would love to, we won't be able, because of our own timelines that we are working to, give extra, grace period to anybody who is unable to furnish us with a certified copy of their transcript as at the time the application window is closing.
Okay.
I don't know whether Dr. Akabi has a different perspective, but that would be my view about the timelines given what we are working to.
No, I mean, I think what we are asking for is just a copy. It doesn't have to be the official. I mean, it has to be official, but I believe a lot of schools, they have a way where you could be able to access that copy online and use that. So yes, you are right. We don't have that grace of time to give at this point in time.
If one writes the GRE and TOEFL on or before August 2021, my apologies. Does that apply for 2021? I think this person is asking about the application window. So this iScholar Initiative 2021 application is particularly for people who are ready to go to grad school next year. And for you to go to grad school next year, you need to start applying as early as September 2021. I hope that answers your questions. I think
sorry, I think probably there was a response I made talking about the application window where I made reference to 2021, just to validate the point that you just have to get all your standardized tests in by the date you mentioned in August. So I think your admission really is for 2022. And of course, the process, like Faidat have just mentioned, you have to be in a position of readiness to send in your applications, including all your scores, by September. So basically, you have to write it this year. That's all we are saying. I mean, write it next year. Yeah, this is this year, 2021. Yes, you write it this year, right? Right.
Okay. Yes, thank you, sir. So someone is asking, my school only sends transcripts to academic institutions they send to NGO or corporate organizations. They require a letter from such organization. Can I get a letter requesting for it?
I do not see the reason why, well, except if things have changed, because I left university more than many years ago. But I know that up till today, I have certified copy of my transcript. And I see no reason why your university shouldn't be able to give you a personal copy for your references and for your files. So, but I guess this is a discussion we would have to have internally as to whether we can, if anybody requires, write them a letter saying they can, the letter they can submit to their university for the transcript. Dr. Akambi, Dr. Salako, and Dr. Ayene, what's your view?
For the moment, why isn't it enough to let your school know that you are applying for this scholarship? This is what is required. Isn't that enough information or for them to provide you what you need?
And I think, to Mrs. Esekwe's point, first of all, we've been courtesy of the media team of iSI. We've been talking about this months, and this is just like the final step just before the application goes live. So meaning that the awareness has already been there. I'm a very proactive, prospective applicant. If I were in your shoe, I would have been talking to my potential referees on this. That's number one. Then number two, this announcement is going to schools. So the chance that your lecturers or your potential referee will have even learned about this is very high, especially in this circle. So all what we are saying is your referees, they are fully aware of this. I would say you have a job to also bring it to their knowledge, to their notice. I mean, you have a whole month to do this. We understand all the logistic issues in our fatherland, but we also argue that I think Dr. Akambi mentioned, your transcript might not formally be ready, but there's a way you get statement of result that kind of shows your result from first level to your final year. So you just see yourself, I mean, this is for me and I get to get this. So don't just sit back and think that also is on strike or my lecturer is not going to be responsive when I do. So again, Ms. Esekwe mentioned, if you have really had a good relationship with any of your dons, your lecturers, I tell you, this should be a lot easier for you. Yes, we are not diminishing the fact that there are things that are completely out of your control. But just remember, this is a competition. I think Dr. Ayene mentioned, you are competing, right? So if we have a spot for 50 scholars, for example, and we already have 300 scholars giving us everything we need. So I think it is fair to reward those people for working so hard to get everything that we need. So it is your call, right? So do your best, please. I don't know if that answers your question, but I just have to rank a little bit. I'm sorry.
Totally. And it would be great for us to sort of keep our responses to 30 seconds, 1 minute, if possible, so we can take as many questions as possible. So someone asked that, okay, I have...
Farida, please let me just quickly say something. If you cannot get transcripts by applying for it and putting iSI as the institution that will receive the transcript officially, if they ask you for a letter, send email to our dedicated email that your university expressly require you to get a letter from the institution who require the transcript. to give you a letter, we will give you that letter. I think that answer, that is a direct answer to that question.
Okay.
But it's going to be a very, very limited situation that we occur like that.
Yes. So you can always reach out to us via email if you really, really need that. So someone asked, I don't know if we got the question, and we need to keep our responses to 30 seconds, 1 minute, so we can take as much as possible. I have the funds to pay for the standardized tests. Can I apply just for mentorship?
The straight answer is yes.
Yes, you can. Awesome. Please reach out to us via email if that is what you want from us. And what are the chances of students that are targeting UK schools that does not necessarily require GRE to be admitted? Can I just choose to be sponsored for TOEFL? Dr. Ayeni, can you take this?
So I think that has been addressed previously. So I think the requirement for the TOEFL sponsorship is based on your results from the GRE. But I'll throw it to the panel if we would consider cases where students are not interested in North American schools. But as far as I can tell, as of now, I mean, our approach is to sponsor people who have taken the GRE exams first. Is that correct? Does someone wants to add to that?
Yeah, I think, thanks, Dr. Ayeni. I think you are correct. You have to apply for GRE, but we've seen cases whereby students apply for GRE and they are selected, but before they took their exam, they got admission, or they decided that the admission doesn't require GRE, they only requires TOEFL. So in that case, we awarded them the TOEFL award. But again, you have to apply for GRE. If you are selected for GRE, you are not automatically selected for TOEFL, but you are in the same box as people that will be awarded the TOEFL, provided you meet the GRE requirements. But like he said, if your university or your admission doesn't require you to take the GRE, we can give that GRE to somebody else and award you the TOEFL exam. I think, Victor, I'm correct. That's what we did in the last year.
Yeah. So if I were a prospective applicant, I would sort of keep an open mind and not maybe say I'm applying to just the UK schools. I just keep an open mind and have all of these exams. So really, I would not just be applying for iSI scholarship for TOEFL alone. I'll apply like, yes, I want to write the GRE. So that is what I would do anyway. Yes. So a lot of people were asking about that, the GRE TOEFL relationship, and I believe that has covered it. I think we've covered all questions. Please, if your question has not been responded to in the next few seconds, please can you type it again? My apologies. So the application timeline, for many people asking for the application link, the application is going to be open on Monday. That's January 4th. And also, please stop annotating on the screen. So the application will be open January 4th, 2021. Happy New Year. So I don't say 2020 again. And the deadline is February 5th, 2021. And the reference deadline is February 12th, 2021. So you see, the reference deadline is so that I know how I'm a prospective applicant to different schools too, and I know how it is requesting for references. I know it takes a lot of time, and also ISI has given the leverage of 1 week for your references to fill the form. And like I mentioned before, so that you can tell your references, they do not need a letterhead or a letterheaded paper to write you a reference. They just need to type in or copy and paste their essay or their letter into the box provided on the form. And the application will be reviewed between February and April, and results, you would know if you qualify by May 3rd. So I still see.
Sorry, Haida, can you put the important date on the screen so that, yeah.
Okay,
See.
yes, can you see my screen? Oh, okay. I thought it was on. I'm putting that now. I'm putting that now. Can you see my screen now?
Not yet.
Nope.
Not yet.
Okay.
How about now?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, yes. So these are the important dates. And you know, if I were a prospective applicant, well, I'm an iScholar, so apologies, I keep saying prospective applicant. At the end of this session, I'll start calling my referees to let them know that, oh, I need you to feel something for me. So we're just going to take maybe 5 questions. It's 6:45 already. Just going to take 5 questions. A lot of the questions you're sending have been answered. And if you join the session late, you can always go back to our YouTube channel to watch the session, to watch it again and see the parts where you missed. Someone is asking, how do I know which of the exams to write? Is it my choice of schools that will determine which of the exams to write based on the various school requirements? Before I throw it to the panel, I think I can answer this. So it's not just for you to say, oh, because I want to study abroad, I'm writing GRE, or I'm writing GRE and that. So there are some people that need to write GMAT. So like you said, it is your choice of school. The first process of any graduate school application for a person is for you to search for schools that offer what you want. Once you search for schools that offer what you want, then you go through the requirements for international students, particularly. So when you go through the requirements, you would see there where they would tell you GRE required, GMAT required, and that is how you know which exam to write. I hope you understand that. And I don't know if anyone wants to add to that. Okay. So there's another question about, have you ever awarded anyone with a second class lower? We've actually responded to this before, and well, I don't know if you want to take it again. It keeps popping up.
We haven't, and the minimum we consider a second class upper.
Okay. And we've responded to this. I meet up with every other requirement, and I'm very positive about getting the scholarship, but it is unfortunate I cannot use my master's result in place of my weak first degree academic record. I think Dr. Hoja has taken this before. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, that was also answered by Dr. Akambi, Dr. Salako, and Dr. Ayeni. It provides a very uneven playing field when we are asking people with first degree to compete. And because you have a lower or a weak first degree, you want to use your master's to supplicate that. It doesn't help in any way. So the minimum basic requirement we'll be looking at for everybody is the class of their first degree. And basically, based on the competition, like I mentioned earlier, around 1,000 applications last year with people with first class and second class upper degree, then that will be the basic we are looking at.
And just to say something quick, again, to this scholar, I'll still encourage you, if you have the means, go for it, apply to schools, push it. I'm speaking here, I made a 2-2, went from Ife, and and I can tell you there are so many people who made 2-2. But the point is, for this particular process, it's not going to be enough for you to get that award. Again, I will still encourage you, I'll still push you to figure out a way, if you can take the exams. I've shared in one of our webinars before. I used to mentor a kid that made a third class, lower third class. He was fortunate enough to do his GRE, did very well, paid for the exam, got admission, was blessed to get the visa, and he got here and he ended up in his first master's degree with a 4.0 GPA. So it's not, we are not here to discourage you, but just like Dr. Oje said, it's not going to be a playing field to use that over people. I mean, we are trying to be as fair as possible. That's why we are making that decision.
Thank you for that clarification, sir. So, to that person asking that question, please just go for it, really. We're limitless. There's a question here. How much chances do non-science applicants have? Research shows that sciences benefit more from this kind of initiative.
I want to answer that.
Okay, you want to take it? Okay, yes.
Well, we discussed this in-house some times ago. In fact, somebody even said there are more of Jew scientists. But I can tell you that everybody benefits. If you have read history as first degree, or you even read English, and you made a good 2-1, you just made 2-1, and you write good statement of purpose or personal statement, and you write good preparation plan for GRE, you give us very good all we ask for, you will get it. No discipline benefits more than the other. You will get it. So it's just you. You are not competing against scientists or engineer. You are making yourself available based on what you have and and what you can offer. So that's the answer I will give to that.
And just to buttress that, is that assessment criteria don't look at the field of your first degree. We look at your academic prowess. We assess your statement of purpose, your study plans, the linkage between your past, your present, and the future prospects. And that's what we base the award of funding on. And if by chance you want to go and do a master's degree or PhD in history or international relations, and after our assessments, you qualify for funding, we will definitely give it to you. So we are not in any way discriminating between the sciences and the arts or social sciences.
So to add to that, it is good to know that some of our 2020 scholars actually are not science students. They are from non-science background. So please go for it. And to talk about the reference again, I still see a reference question popping up. Does the reference involve writing a fresh reference or just filling out a form? This will enable me to inform my prospective referee on what is coming. So the reference, once you put an email for your referee's email, they would immediately get another email asking them to fill a reference form. So they don't need to upload. That's what I said. They don't need a letterhead or letterheaded paper. I don't know which is correct. They just need to fill the form. There is a box there for them to, if it's an essay they are writing on your, when I say essay, they're writing something good for you. They put it into that box. So they don't, it is very, very easy for them. And I'm sure they would love that. So 2 questions to go and then we round up. Is the scholarship only open to North American schools? What if, oh, okay, we've taken that, but I've seen people asking if it's only people that are interested in applying to North American schools that should apply for this scholarship.
No.
Dr.
Ayeni? No, okay, go ahead, Dr. Ayeni.
Yeah, I think we touched on this previously. So first, I see no reason why you shouldn't want to apply to North American schools. But yes, it's not restricted to people applying to North American schools. But if you look at the requirements, mostly North American schools require GRE and GMAT and TOEFL. But in preparing yourself for graduate school, I think just open your aperture, look beyond, unless you have a specific reason to restrict yourself or your pool of schools you're applying to. There's no reason not to apply to schools in North America. And if you decide to do that, then GRE or GMAT and obviously TOEFL will be required. So there's no restriction to people who should apply, but you should know the requirements of the schools you're applying to. And I think we touched on the fact that for people who have admissions to, let's say, UK schools or other places where GRE and GMAT are not required, then we'll still be prepared to support you with TOEFL if that's required. And if that's not required, obviously you can apply for mentorship as well, which could be important in directing your path through the next steps.
Yeah, so just one quick addition, I promise less than 30 seconds. So I mean, it's not just paying for your standardized test that iSI offers. The value of our mentoring is something we can't even put a number on. So either way, you still win. So, and again, I will refer you to, just like Faidata said, if you want to see the totality of the package, check it out on the website. So it's far beyond just funding you for standardized tests.
And to add to what they have said, it's not just North American schools. We have iScholars who are currently in Europe. We have iScholars in Asia. Not everyone is not in North America. So, and another thing I would say is just keep an open mind, whether it's North America or Europe, please just go for it. Yes, so Dr. Akombi, you have an application here, a mentee application. So, can Dr. Akombi mentor me since I am already at disadvantage of this application? I'll appreciate that from him. I don't want my dream truncated. I need someone who was in my shoes to mentor me. I also graduated from IFE. So this person who sent this, please send an email to us. info@ischolarinitiative.org. I'm going to type that in the chat box now. Please send an email.
Dr. Akambi has an effect now.
Yes.
You got a lot of
you can reach out to me
actually.
Because Dr. Akombi is really an amazing person and he mentored a lot of us, like a number of us. So if I see your drive, I see your motivation, please send us that email. Thank you. So the last question, does ISI scholarship provide mentorship for the winners? Yes, ISI is very, very particular about mentorship. It's not just monetary value. We're going to work with you, hold your hands till you get an admission, a fully funded offer. And even beyond that, you still have a community, you have a family. That is what ISI offers you. Does ISI scholarship cover school tuition fees and student welfare? Well, that would be one of our goals, but currently we do not cover that. And hopefully in the future, we will cover that and even beyond. So I believe we've been able to cover a lot of your questions, but if not, the good thing is we've prepared an application FAQ, which is on our website. If you visit the homepage of our website on Monday, you would see the application FAQ right beside the button for you to apply. And if your question is not appearing on the FAQ, if you feel there is no response to a question that you have, please reach out to us via email. But please go through the FAQ first, watch this video before you finally reach out to us with your question. So like I said, the application is going, this is the timeline again. Application opens on Monday, the deadline is February 5th. And one particular thing to note is that the application portal, you will not be able to save the progress of your application. You will not be able to save the progress of your application. So that means you need to complete your application in one sitting. You need to have all your application materials before you complete the application. So please have that in mind. And so the best practices for a prospective iScholar applicant would be to start your application early, just like Mr. Zumbaduga said, start your application early, start gathering your application material. Like I said, if I'm a prospective applicant, well, it won't be today because I've been following iScholar initiative a long time ago and preparing all my application materials. And another thing is that you want to inform your referees early. You want to let them know that I need this opportunity, I need this scholarship. So you want to inform them early and let them know that they would be filling a form for you. They do not need to upload anything. It's easy peasy. 2 minutes, or well, not 2 minutes because you'll have to write an essay for you, but it's quite easy. And another thing, you want to read instructions carefully. I see, and I'm sure we've responded to that. A lot of people asking if Gmail, Yahoo can be used. One of the instructions is for you to use an official email. Please try to follow that. Another instruction is first degree transcripts. First degree. You want to make sure you're uploading your first degree transcript. Another one is the word limit. There's a reason why that word limit is there. You want to make sure you follow that word limit. Don't, I know you have a lot of achievements here, but you you would not want to jeopardize your chances by giving us something of 1,000 words. And another is for you to go through the application FAQs on our website. Or if your question has not been answered there, please email us for further inquiries. And one thing I would want you to know again is you do not need to pay anybody to apply for iSI scholarship. iSI scholarship application is free. It is totally free. You do not need to pay anybody to apply for iSI scholarship. And I see a lot of people asking for GRE and TOEFL preparatory materials. On our website, there is a resources section where I believe you could be able to see that. But if it's not there, would make it a point to upload links to GRE and TOEFL materials. And aside that, you could join various scholarship groups, and there are a number of people that have these materials. It's just a Google Drive link, and then boom, you have the material that you need. If there is anything I've not covered, I don't know.
Faida, thanks. Just a quick thing that I needed to ask. These are very, very excellent best practices. But just one additional thing that I wanted us, especially for applicants, to know is the motivation is very, very important. All these requirements that we've asked from you guys, if you really want it, if you're really motivated, you will get everything in place within this short time. So show the concept that you really want this, go for it, do whatever within your ability to provide all the information that's been asked of you. And again, it goes beyond this, because even after you've been awarded, if you are blessed to be awarded this scholarship, it's also go beyond you just taking the test and doing very well. The success of this whole program depends on you, depends on how really you want it, how you really want the graduate education, whether in Europe or in America. And that's why to some of you that are asking the question of where I want to go to Europe, they don't require this, I will encourage you, open your horizon, be open-minded to every part of the world. There are virtually thousands of opportunities out there. Tap into it, be motivated, and go for it. If you do that, you're going to be successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Within the next 1 minute, I would want Mr. Ogumala, who is the the president of the iScholar initiative, to give us the closing remark. In 1 minute, sir.
Thank you for that. So yes, I just want to say thank you to our VP, George Badiba. I know she has been working around the clock. I don't even know how she celebrated 1st of January, Christmas Day. So I give it to you and your team. This has been a very impactful one. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all our panelists, Dr. Ayeni. I'm sorry I confused you, so as much as I confused myself on the on the time difference. So thank you so much for still being able to join. Mrs. Esekwe, it will be very awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Salako. And very, very much thank you to my brother, Dr. Oje. We are in this together. So you've heard from the most trusted voices as far as this process is concerned. And I also want to thank Dr. Akambi for your insight and guidance as well. So, and to our prospective scholars, just one word for you. I think Dr. Akambi mentioned this. Everything depends on you. We are just partnering with you to mind some gap. When it comes to the drive, the passion, the aptitude, everything is yours. And how much you want us to help you, we also depend on how you really want to drive this. So you are in charge. You are in the driver's seat, literally. So, and I also want to encourage you that whatever you are doing now, it may look like our standard is so high, but we are trying to prepare you for a goal. So if you can do it well, even at this level, then we know that you will have done so much for yourself when it actually comes to your admission process. I mean, when you begin to apply for schools. So everything we are requesting now, they are still going to be requested. If you do it now, it's like you are saving yourself a lot of time and effort. So once again, thank you all, and let's make the best use of, all this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you very much, sir. Please don't forget.
Thanks everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Session again on the YouTube channel.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mention our facilitator's name. My goodness. Faida, you've been so awesome, really. I mean, I don't even have any words to describe you.
Oh.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Faida.
To the iSI volunteer team that particularly I've been helping with sending questions from the YouTube channel. We totally appreciate it. And if you missed this session, because I still see people asking questions about personal statement and the likes, please, you can watch it again. It is available on our YouTube channel, iScholar Initiative. You'd see us there. And make sure you follow us on all our social media pages, iScholar Initiative, to stay updated. You need to stay updated, really. It is very important. So to this end, I would say thank you to our panelists. Thank you to Mrs. Mbaduga. Honestly, she has worked so hard for this. Thank you to Mr. Umba. Thank you everyone for joining, and I really wish you all the best in your iScholar Initiative Scholarship Application 2021. So till another time, bye and have a great year ahead.
Yeah.
Bye everyone.
Thanks,
Bye everyone.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
All the very best.